Welcome back. Today, we are diving deep into the other side of virtualization. We're talking about the unique security dangers that can lurk just beneath the surface of all that power and flexibility.
All right, before we jump in, just a quick heads up. This is part 4 of a 10-part brief overview, and it's all based on a comprehensive research report called Virtualization Subscriptions, Hostage or Autonomy in Data Centers by Virtualization Options LLC. Now, as you can probably guess, what we're covering here is just a fraction of the full report. Also, this is not legal advice, and it doesn't come with any warranty, expressed or implied. Okay, let's get into it.
So what exactly are these hidden dangers? Well, it's kind of a classic paradox. The very things that make virtualization so amazing, centralized control, sharing hardware, all that good stuff, well, that architecture also opens up a whole new playbook for attackers. So let's peel back that first layer. The vulnerabilities in a virtual setup, they often start right at the very foundation, at the architectural level. This is where the first cracks can start to appear. This really breaks down the core issues perfectly. First up, you've got the hypervisor. Think of it as the master control program for everything. If an attacker gets control of that, they pretty much have the keys to the entire kingdom, every single virtual machine on that server. Then, you've got way more admin accounts to manage, and each one is another potential door for an intruder to try and unlock. And finally, the virtual networks themselves can get so complex that one tiny misconfiguration can accidentally create a secret highway for an attacker to just cruise between systems that are supposed to be completely separate.
And this brings us to one of the scariest threats out there. Inter-VM attacks. Think about it like this. Your virtual machine is like an apartment. You assume your walls are solid, right? But these attacks are like someone in the next apartment figuring out how to listen to you through the shared plumbing. Because these VMs share physical hardware, like a CPU, clever attackers can exploit these side channels to literally steal data from a neighboring machine. It's proof that the isolation we count on, well, it isn't always as solid as we think.
So you see, the risks aren't just baked into the design from the start. A lot of them are created by the day-to-day challenge of just trying to manage these incredibly complex environments. Let's look at how that chaos builds up.
And here is a perfect example of that operational mess, VM sprawl. I mean, it is so easy to spin up a new virtual machine for a project, right? A few clicks, and you're done. But what happens when the project ends? Often, we just forget to turn it off. And that creates this army of digital ghost ships, forgotten, unmonitored, and here's the scary part, unpatched. Every single one is a dormant vulnerability, just a ticking time bomb waiting for someone to find it.
And trying to keep all this chaos under control, it's a monumental challenge. First, you have to secure or harden the hypervisor itself. Then you have to orchestrate patches across the hypervisor, the management tools, and every single VM, all without bringing everything crashing down. And on top of all that, you have to fight something called configuration drift. That's where tiny, undocumented changes made by different people slowly, piece by piece, weaken your security over time, often without anyone even noticing.
Okay, so we've laid out this complex technical minefield. But now we get to the really crucial point. How does the subscription business model pour gasoline on this fire? How does tying your critical infrastructure to a recurring payment make all these risks so much worse?
It's a fair question to ask. I mean, a vulnerability is a vulnerability. It doesn't matter how you paid for the software, right? Well, not exactly. As it turns out, the payment model can fundamentally change the entire dynamic of risk.
And this right here, this comparison, lays it all out. With a traditional perpetual license, you own the software. Even if your support contract runs out, vendors often still provide those critical security updates. But with a subscription, you're just renting access. And that lets vendors tie those life-saving security patches directly to your payment status. All of a sudden, a simple billing mistake isn't just a headache for the accounting department, it becomes an immediate frontline security crisis.
This image just captures that reality perfectly. An expired credit card, a budget holdup, a lost invoice, any of these mundane things can suddenly mean access denied, not to some fancy new feature, but to the critical patch that protects you from a known active threat that hackers are exploiting right now. Your security posture is literally tied to your billing cycle. But believe it or not, it gets even more direct than that. Vendors have started treating essential security tools almost like luxury add-ons. Basic, fundamental controls that everyone should have, like multi-factor authentication, are often gated. They're locked away in premium, more expensive subscription tiers. This puts companies in an impossible position. Pay up or knowingly accept a weaker security posture.
And I think I'll leave you with this quote from the source report because it just sums it all up. Organizations may find themselves unable to address security issues, creating a scenario where financial constraints directly compromise security posture. The big takeaway here is that the danger isn't just in the code anymore, it's in the contract. And it leaves us with a really troubling question. Is your financial model creating vulnerabilities all on its own?